Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Just want to touch base with my midday. I'm a little bit later than I normally would like to be, but the challenge of service on the phone on the road has been a problem again. But so there were a few things on my jaunt today that I figured I would recapture for y'all. First of all, it looks like I've already got a bed to sleep in tonight if I can make it to Bedford, so that's good news, and I'll keep you updated on that. But the day started. As you remember yesterday, I was met by a really great family, the Sheffields, and took me in, and we were talking last night, you know, they were kind of having a kick that I had 2 mountains to go over, today being I got beaten down by 1, and they were talking about possibly, you know, what's the big deal if I just bypassed them, and I had to think about that, and Chris was like, hey, it's his journey, let him decide what to do. But Carly, the daughter, pretty smart, made a lot of sense. She said, you know, well, if a 10-minute drive can get them past 2 mountains, why not do it? So when we woke up this morning, I had to ask myself, am I doing this journey as some kind of torture test or American Ninja Warrior contest, or am I doing it to find out about humanity and know I got 5 months left ahead of me? So Chris was dropping me off back towards Route 30, and he took me as far as halfway to the second mountain. So to the haters out there, you know, that's okay. Like I said, I had no real good response climbing a mountain yesterday, and it just beat the hell out of me. So if I can do that and be on my way, save the legs a little bit, and I didn't really lose or discover any humanity during that time. So all is well and good, but what it did was it put me closer to my destination of Breezewood, which was where I was trying to end up today. And I was able to make Breezewood by late morning, and what I did was I stopped in at the Holiday Inn Express up there, and I met Amber and Kim and said, look, hey guys, here's what I'm doing. I'm not a guest at the hotel. Just wanted to know if I could maybe just use the business office and catch up on some emails and things like that, and postings, and maybe sit down and charge my batteries and get a water. And they were nothing but gracious. They let me use the business office. They brought me a cold water, a plate of food, and they were nothing but special to me. So I really appreciate that. So thank you guys to the Holiday Inn Express in Breezewood. And if you go and you see Kim, just tell them Point the Thumb sent you, and she'll take care of you, I'm sure. I left Breezewood and started on my journey because the next 2 towns that I could try to get a little head start on and maybe make my trip in 150 days like I expect was Everett, and the next town I can't figure out what it is right now. But that's my end goal, and I'm hoping to meet somebody there who offered me a place to stay. But along the way, a few things happened that I wanted to ask you guys about, tell you about. So as I said, I wanted to cover the morning. So you didn't hear me whining about mountains today because I only did half of up one and back down the other, which definitely saved the wear and tear on the legs. There was a point today, I was walking, I had my phone in my pocket. I'm right along the roadside, so you can't hear a thing, so there's no point in having a ringer. And for some reason, I was just thinking about my stepdaughter Grace, and I was just going to text her and tell her I love her, and I go to pick up my phone and look at it, and there's a text from her telling she made the National Honor Society. So I was already going to tell her how proud I was of her, I love her, and now I had even more reason to do so. So Grace, I'm so proud of you. Keep it up, kid. But then, as I've said, I get to relive moments in my mind. I don't just remember them, I relive them. Till the day I die, I'll always remember where I was and how the emotion took me when I heard that song last night, Watching You by Rodney Atkins. Well, something else happened today. The minute I was texting Grace, when you walk along the roads of America here, you know, the grass and the weeds are piled up, probably my chest high. Then you see a lot of critters. I see a lot of roadkill. I'm surprised at how many turtles and snakes I saw. I expected raccoons and possum and groundhogs. I didn't expect so many turtles and snakes, but a lot. Anyway, I happened to stop for a moment and to get my text, and I kind of smiled. And as I did, the weeds next to me rustled in such a manner, I swear to you, I soiled myself. So, you know, it sounded like a giant moose was coming through there. So the reality is that it was probably just a damn groundhog or something small, but it just startled me. I jumped 3 feet, and so it's emasculating enough that I admitted I soiled myself. So I'm just going to go with the fact that it was a 200-pound mountain lion that was stalking me, and my sudden movement scared it back up the mountain, because I think it leads to a better story, and it's a whole lot better to say that's what soiled me than a damn groundhog. So anyway, kept going on my journey and just plugging away. Stopped and rested a couple times. The sun's pretty tough out there today. Although no humidity, I've had 3 amazing days so far, or 4 now. And a little bit up ahead, something really cool happened. It hadn't happened to me in 3 days yet, but people going by, like 2 different people kind of honked the horn at me. And it was the greatest momentum builder for me. I was like, yeah, man, go for it, right? So You know, I will ask you folks, if you see me out there walking, give a little honk, man. It's so great. And do me a favor, don't do it right by my eardrum, though. As I said, I've already kind of soiled myself once today. I don't need to be getting startled in this a second time. So, and no, Landon, I didn't really soil myself. It's kind of called a euphemism. Maybe it's not even called a euphemism. I'm not that bright. It's called something, though. Anyway, so that was really cool. Like in about a mile, 2 guys honked at me. Kind of, yeah, you know, it really is uplifting. So even if you're not gonna, you know, do anything else, drive by, give a little honk, let you know you're thinking of the person. And I got further up the road, and I saw this man out. He had a long property, and he was out taking some groundwork to his yard. And I went and as I got to the end of his property, I saw this sign that I posted about imagining a world without cancer. And as I've described to you before, I've been hit by cancer. Everyone else out there has been hit by cancer, and I had this little, you know, what if we had no cancer in the world, but we all kind of checked out at 70. And so I stopped, I put my bag down, I went and talked to the man to just see, you know, did he have a story behind that sign? And he said, look, like everybody, I've been touched by cancer, but nobody really immediate to the family. He said, but we believe in helping us the way we can, and we're in a relay for life. So we put a launch out there to let people know, and we try to support as best we can. And that's ironic because, kind of on a down note, one of my biggest supporters in this journey, the young lady that was at my going away, she basically lent me the money to buy the first batch of t-shirts. She just seems to have identified with my message and what I'm doing. She texted me and let me know that she's a little bit alarmed that her daughter, only in her mid to late 20s, had discovered something on her lung, and she's got to go in for a CAT scan on Saturday. So, you know, that's alarming anytime I get the young lady out of her way, so she's not feeling violated at all. I'm at some Sunoco, just getting something to drink. So anyway, you know, it's scary to her, and certainly my prayers go out to her. Hopefully it'll be nothing, but just the anxiety of knowing, you know, you have to get tested is something. So I'll ask everybody for a moment, if you can, to just close your eyes for a second and just think about the people in our lives that we know have suffered, have won the battle, have lost the battle, that are going to be undergoing the battle, and just, you know, keep Sam in your prayers this Saturday, and you know, let's wish them good things, because it's just an awful disease. So, all right, so Sam, we're all praying for you. Let's hope that turns out well. A couple other things I want to talk about. So, one other thing I guess I want to talk about. I'm sure there was something else I'm missing, but I'm going to be selfish for a minute. I've tried to make my life and this journey not about me, about us. But never was I more convinced that this is getting across, based on the 2 posts and emails I got last night that I posted this morning, that people really are being moved to just pause for a second and give some thought to things. And if we could affect everybody just a little bit at a time, we could do amazing things. Here's where I'm going to be selfish. As I've walked through these little towns, I keep seeing these little papers, right? These Mercerburg Times, and I don't know what I saw up here today. And I know that there's no place that we could all go ahead and know where all these are, but here's where I'm going to be selfish. I love what I'm doing. I love it. I think I'm actually pretty good at it, quite frankly. Talking to people, communicating with people, motivating people. This is my job for the next 5 months. I don't have a job to go to. I'm not playing Uber dad. I've got great family and friends who are helping in that role. I want to impact and at least have a discussion about any topic in the world with as many people as possible. This is where I need you guys to come in. I can't do it all myself. I'll do all the heavy lifting. I have no problem doing all the heavy lifting. But look, guys, you guys know my journey outline. You can get on the map right now and go look up the Lincoln Highway. And I'm taking the Lincoln Highway, which is Route 30, from Pennsylvania all the way up to Chicago. From there, my trip will change. But there's no reason right now that if you guys, I get all the time, how can I help you? So I'm gonna be selfish. Here's how you can help me, guys. Find whatever websites, find out what counties, call up the Chamber of Commerce, find out what the local paper is there. You've got all these little local newspapers with an editor sitting back worrying about whether Mrs. McGillicuddy's cow got escaped again as a story. You know, what better story than something like this? And we got a vacuum in the background, so I'll try to talk louder, I apologize. But you know, you guys know my journey. You can reach out to newspapers, news organizations, television news, radio stations. You know, talk to the Chamber of Commerce and see what you've got out there. Reach as many people as you can, please, because I don't care if a small business along Route 30 comes to me and says, hey, you know what, I really like your story and I'd like you to 5 or 6 or 8 of my employees. You know, I think I've got something to share. I think it's valuable. The 400 people I've got follow me so far clearly think it's valuable. So I don't know how to make those inroads and contacts, and I don't have the time to do so. So I'm going to be selfish. If you guys can find a way, and I apologize about this vacuum in the background, but if you guys can find a way to take the effort and go reach out to these folks, I'll be more than happy to do the heavy lifting, spread the word. This is our word. It's not just mine. This is, you guys, all of you have told me so many times that, you know, you believe what I'm saying and you appreciate it. So let me share our philosophy and spread this word to like the 2 folks yesterday. All right. So that's kind of going to get off now because you can't even probably hear me with this vacuum in the background. I apologize about that. I love you all. That's the midday. I got to head to Bedford. I think another 12 miles or so, and we'll go from there. All right. Thanks guys for listening. Have a great day. Grace, Kira, Landon, love you guys. Little Luna, that's my little dog. So just tell her I love her too. All right guys, take care.